All right, well, thanks to this quarantine, we are all cooped up in our houses, and I've heard of things like the quarantine and the COVID-19 pounds, and I think let's just embrace it. Joining me now is Cyd Converse from the Sweetest Occasion blog. Cyd, it's so good to see you.
Hi, friend.
All right, so you just released a blog post the other day called 15 recipes that you can make with pantry staples. I have to tell you, I just went to Sam's Club. It was eerie. It was awful. If we can avoid going to the grocery store, let's do it. Tell me a little bit about some of these recipes people can do.
So I think the idea with, easy ideas that you can pull and make from the pantry, it's like using things like beans and grains and canned tomatoes and these things that are really delicious that maybe you don't reach for all the time, and making soups, chilies, casseroles, things that are super simple that don't cost a ton of money, and you can largely make them with things you have on hand or that you've stocked up on.
All right, so if you haven't checked out the Sweetest Occasion blog, this is just like, she does recipes. Tell me a little bit, tell everybody at home some of the other things you offer there, crafts, all that sort of stuff.
I talk a lot about home decor, easy home renovation and decorating ideas, DIY projects, cocktails, entertaining, how to throw a party, which we can't do right now. So we'll talk about food and cocktails instead, generally.
Sounds good. Okay, so these 15 recipes, they all look delicious. And what I love about your blog is people like me who can't cook at all can do these things. So they're super easy, they're super affordable, and you have one of the recipes that we can kind of go over right now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to block you through it. So this is what I call taco tarts. They're kind of a riff on a Pop-Tart, only they're stuffed full of taco stuff. So
also, they kind of remind me, if you've ever had an empanada, they kind of look like they similar to that. Have you ever had
that?
Yeah,
they're even easier to make. It's awesome.
Easy is good. Okay, so show us what you have here.
So the basis of these is quinoa. So I've cooked up some quinoa. You do not need quinoa. You can use rice, barley, any kind of grain. I like to make them without meat since I don't eat meat. But if you, and that also makes them like a true pantry staple. You don't actually need any meat. But if you like meat, you could do a 50-50 mix of like ground beef and some kind of rice or grain. And then some bell pepper. I actually wanted to show you that this bell pepper is a little wrinkly, and I'm showing that on purpose because this is like a little past prime, but it's still totally usable, so don't waste anything, especially right now. Onion, some store-bought pie crust, canned corn or frozen corn, some taco seasoning, black beans, and then enchilada sauce. Now, normally when I make these, I make them with red enchilada sauce, but I don't have that right now because I'm quarantined, so I'm using green. If you don't have enchilada sauce, you could use some crushed tomatoes, kind of whatever. And if you don't have taco seasoning, but you happen to have chili powder, maybe use some paprika, salt and pepper, you can make the same thing happen. And so the basic idea is, if you check out the recipe, you're going to combine your beans, corn, quinoa, all of that, and dice up and saute some peppers and onions, throw some garlic in there if you want to.
And really, I mean, this is a pantry staple, so be creative with this sort of stuff. We can improvise,
totally.
and really switch those things out to your likes, or not even what you like, but what you have, because we're quarantined. Right.
Yeah. If you don't have black beans, use, I always keep a lot of like northern beans around, garbanzo beans. Skip the beans altogether if you hate them. That's fine too. If my trick is, you can totally use homemade pie crust, but if you happen to be doing a store run and they have these store-bought ones, you can keep these in the fridge or the freezer for a really long time, and they're super handy. And then I just use a pizza cutter to, hopefully you guys can see this since we're just kind of making this up, cut it into rectangles, and then you'll put your stuffing on one side, fit another one over top, pinch it down with a fork, bake them. And then I serve them up with like salsa and sour cream, just like tacos.
Well, so I super love these. And here's the other thing is, we have a lot of extra time on our hands, especially folks that have kids. And this is a great one that you can bring the kids into the kitchen with you. It takes a little bit longer than it would take to make regular tacos, but you have a little bit more time. And then the pie crust obviously makes it fun. You can dip the Pop-Tart right into the salsa, right into the sour cream.
Yeah. And what's fun about these too is that they keep better than a normal taco. So if you make up a whole bunch, you can pop them out, throw them back in the toaster oven, the microwave or whatever, warm them up the next day, and you've got lunch for the kids while they're homeschooling or driving you crazy or whatever they're doing.
Well, Cyd, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Again, if you haven't checked out the Sweetest Occasion vlog, she has all sorts of fun ideas. How is your family holding up? I just like to ask.
We're doing good so far. So we are just trying to find a combination of having fun, taking it easy, doing some yoga, building blanket forts, and just generally trying to make the best of it. It's a serious situation, but through that, we can't take ourselves seriously. And so we're just trying to keep it fun over here.
Well, there you have it, some taco Pop-Tarts and 15 more recipes we can make here while we're on quarantine. Cyd, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Let's do this again soon, okay?
I would love it. Thanks, Alex.
Love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Love you.